Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to explain problem 2 in the MRP chapter. You already have the solution, but I figured you could use some further explanation. Okay, so problem 2 is about MRP computations. I'm not gonna read the entire exercise, but to sum up, you have this company that produces a finished product A, and you are given the bill of materials, which details the components and subcomponents used to make 1 unit of A. The numbers between brackets here are the coefficients of utilization. It means how many units of components are needed to make 1 unit of the product or component in the upper level. So for example, for product A, you need one unit of B, 2 units of C, and 4 units of F. You are also given the sales program in units for product A, and this table that details the initial stock for each product or component, the production or replenishment lead time in months, and the production or purchasing costs. It also says here that the production costs correspond to the added value only for the product produced in the considered stage. This means that this 100 euros or dollars only corresponds to the assembly or production cost for A. It does not account for the cost of making 1 unit of B, 2 units of C, and purchasing 4 units of F. Okay, now for the first question, it says evaluate the unit cost for each component and product. We start with component F, which is at the bottom of the bill of materials. It is at the lowest level. As you can see, the total cost is equal to the material cost. This is because we didn't do any processing on component F. For component E, it is the same thing. We didn't do any processing on E. For product G, however, the total cost is composed of material cost and production cost. The material cost accounts for the cost of purchasing 2 units of F, and the production cost is the same cost given in the table. The same logic applies for products C and B and A, of course. This 280 corresponds to the cost of producing 1 unit of B plus 1 unit of C, and the purchasing cost for 4 units of F. Okay, now we go to question 2. It says, determine by using the MRP computations the order releases for products A, B, C, and D by taking into account the initial stocks. Okay, so products A, B, C, and D are all manufactured in the company's workshops. So the product order releases here indicate the units, the number of units we're going to be authorizing to be made at the beginning of each period. To obtain the product order releases, we need the gross requirements, the stock levels, and the net requirements. I'm gonna start with product A. A is the finished product, so the gross requirements are provided in the sales plan given to you in the exercise. The initial stock is 30, which is also provided in the exercise. For the rest of the row, the stock level is equal to the inventory, the stock level at the previous period, minus the gross requirement in the corresponding period. So here we had 30 units in inventory. The gross requirement for January was 10 units, so we're left with 20 units here. Next, we have the net requirement, which is the quantity effectively required at the beginning of the period. For January, for example, we have the gross requirement equal to 10, but we already have 30 units in inventory. So effectively, we don't need to make any more units. It is the same for February, but for March, the gross requirement is 30, but we have no units in inventory. So we effectively need 30 units. Okay, now we go to the last row, product order releases, which is the point of the exercise. So what we're gonna do is satisfy these net requirement values we deduced, and we are told that the lead time here is equal to 1, which means that to satisfy the net requirement for March, these 30 units, we need to place an order 1 month in advance, in February. Okay, now we go to component B, and we already know that we need 1 unit of B to make 1 unit of A. So the gross requirement for component B is equal to the product order releases for finished product A. Nothing new for the stock level row. Same for the net requirement. It's the same thing we did in the product A. Now we go to the product order releases. The only thing that's different here is the lead time. Here we have the lead time equal to 2. So to satisfy the net requirement of April, we need to make the order release needs to be 2 months in advance. It has to be in February. Nothing out of the ordinary for C and D. It has the same logic. Now we go for the last question. It says determine the purchasing orders for components E and F. So components E and F are not made in the company's workshop. They're actually purchased. So the computations isn't that different from what we've seen for the other components. But here we have order receipts and order releases. Order receipts is the number of units we expect or we plan to have, and the order releases, of course, is the quantity we're going to order. Okay, so for product E, we have the gross requirements, which are deduced the same as I explained for the other products. We need 1 unit of E to make 1 unit of B, and 1 unit of E to make 1 unit of C. So the gross requirement is equal to 1 times the product order releases of B plus the order releases for C. Same thing for stock, nothing new here. Net requirement, it's the same logic we followed the last time. So here we need 150, but we already have 10 units left from the previous period in inventory. So effectively we need 140 units. And we have the order receipts equal to the net requirement, which makes sense. We plan to receive as much units as we effectively need. Now to the order releases, again we look at the lead time. It is 2. So to satisfy the net requirement for March, we make the order in January. Okay, nothing new for F. It's this exact same logic. And this is it for this exercise, I guess. Please let me know if you have any questions. And good luck with your exams.